All right, good afternoon. It is 1:45, and I'd like to call the Permit Review Committee meeting to order. And we'll begin with the roll call of commission members. Commissioner Ponce. Commissioner Ponce is present. Commissioner Rubin is present. And I am present, and we have a quorum. And we'll begin with the approval of the minutes. I'd like to request a motion to approve the minutes from our September 12th, 2024 meeting. Commissioners. So moved. Commissioner Rubin, seconded by Commissioner Ponce, and I'm a yes. The motion carries unanimously. The minutes will be posted on the commission's website. There's one project on the agenda for today's meeting. Staff of the commission will present the project on the agenda and state their recommendation. Following the staff presentation, the committee will have an opportunity to ask questions of the staff. The applicant may then make a statement. Following the applicant's statements, members of the public may make their statements. I'd like to ask anyone other than the applicant wishing to make a statement on the item on today's agenda to complete a public comment card and give the card to a member of the staff. Comment cards are available at the door. As a courtesy to other individuals wishing to offer comments, we ask that members of the general public limit your statements to 3 minutes or less. When the time comes for public comment on the item on the agenda, I will call the names on the cards and ask you to make your statement. Please state your name, interest, organization, and company you represent, if any. And then that moves us to our project, which is located at 2420 North Geneva Terrace in the 43rd Ward in the Arlington Deming District. It's a violation, replacement of windows with composite windows, different than the approved windows, repair and partial replacement of a wrought iron fence and repairs to the front porch and stairs. And Tyler Taylor has the presentation for this project.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairman. The subject property is a 3-story masonry residential building in the Arlington Deming District, located at the corner of the intersection between North Geneva Terrace and a public alley, and it's just north of Fullerton Parkway. In June of this year, a permit application for extensive interior renovation was received to the building, with some limited window replacement on the north and south side elevations, highlighted here in yellow. This application was approved at staff level. During the permit review process, clarification was requested on any other exterior work, and it was confirmed per a note added to the drawings that no work to the front elevation, including replacement of windows, doors, or roof line, was included. In June, this permit was approved with conditions as shown on the city stamp drawings, that no work was to be done to the front facade, doors, or roof line, and that the new windows at the side elevations were to be Marvin Ultimate Wood windows as had been proposed. During construction, the approved scope of work was exceeded, resulting in a stop work order being issued by the Department of Buildings. New permit applications are now in progress to address the work done contrary to permit and correct the violation. In early July, historic preservation staff were notified that more work was occurring than had been approved under the renovation permit. Staff visited the site and confirmed all of the windows had been replaced and decorative glass had been removed from the transom above the first floor center window. On August 14th, staff met on site with the owner, general contractor, and as well as a supervising inspector from the Department of Buildings. Staff explained that all work to the exterior of the building and fences not already covered by the renovation permit needed to be permitted. Shortly after, a portion of the decorative wrought iron fence along the east and south of the property line was also removed. A stop work order was issued by the Department of Buildings in early September. Staff have since confirmed that the fencing and decorative glass were not discarded and the glass is being restored for reinstallation. On the south elevation, the lower portion of 6 of the masonry openings for the windows were infilled in order to raise the sills. While replacement of these windows was part of the approved scope, no change to the size of the openings was shown on the permit drawings. Infill or changes to the size of masonry openings on side elevations can be approved on a case-by-case basis, but the brick and mortar used for this infill is a poor match for the surrounding masonry. As these windows are in front of kitchen counters and located on a secondary elevation at the alley, in lieu of replacing the brick with a more appropriate brick, staff recommends the brick infill should be stained to better match the historic brick, and the mortar joints should be repointed to match the surrounding mortar joints in color and texture. The new windows that were installed on all elevations are a composite product by Inline rather than the approved windows by Marvin. Staff evaluated the section profiles of the installed windows for dimensions that are the most critical for a replacement product to replicate the depth and overall appearance of wood windows. The installed windows come up short, especially in dimension C, the depth of the offset between the lower and upper sashes, D, the height of the bottom rail, and F, the depth of the glazing from the face of the rails. Some of the windows on the side elevations had already been modified as shown in the composite photo that was included in the permit drawings at left. While the installed windows do not meet the criteria to be appropriate replacements for wood windows, on side elevation, staff recommends that they do not expand the adverse effect caused by the previous alterations to these windows. However, on the front facade clad in face brick, including the finished returns of the bay, staff recommends the installed windows should be replaced with wood windows or windows that closely match the profile of wood windows, and that decorative glazing should be restored to its original location in the transom. The wrought iron fence along the east and south of the lot is made up of two types of fencing, a shorter portion identified as sections 1 and 2 in the site plans shown here in blue and green, and section 3, a taller portion with a different design closer to the rear shown in red. Sections 1 and 2 were already removed but have not been discarded. Before it was removed, parts of this fence were observed to be in poor condition, with members corroded all the way through in some locations. The applicants propose to replicate the design of the short fence and install it in a similar configuration to the original, except with the side portion shifted south to the property line, about 34 inches. The taller section 3 would remain and be scraped and refinished in place. Staff recommends this will not be a significant or adverse change, provided the decorative design of the shorter fence replicates the original as proposed. Finally, near the front entrance doors, a penetration was made for a new fixture and an existing fixture was removed, both damaging the brick in the process. This damage should be repaired. Finally, repairs are proposed to replace damaged portions of the porch treads and decking in kind. Staff recommends approval with these conditions. First, the composite windows installed on the front elevation and sides of the front bay shall be replaced with windows that are more compatible with historic window profiles. Details of the proposed windows shall be provided with the permit application. These details shall be large-scale, fully dimensioned, and show sections through the head, sill, jamb, and meeting rails, and show how the stained glass will be reinstalled in the transom. The existing brick molds and decorative mullions shall be retained and repaired. The brick infill below the raised window sills on the south elevation shall be stained to match the adjacent common brick and red brick bands. The mortar joint shall be repointed to match the surrounding mortar in joint profile, texture, and color. Samples of the stain and mortar shall be provided for staff review and approval prior to approval of the permit. 3, the proposed fence configuration, as shown on the site plan received 9/11/24, is approved. The shorter fence, sections 1 and 2, shall replicate the design of the historic fence as proposed. For repairs and any replacement, the porch decking, stairs, and risers shall be replaced with like materials as proposed. No changes shall be made to the existing handrails or guardrails. And finally, the damaged brick, face brick adjacent to the front door shall be patched and repaired using materials matching the brick in color and texture. A statement from the attorney for the owner of the adjacent property at 2424 North Geneva was received after packets went out, and you each have a copy of it at your places. Alderman Knudsen and the Park West Neighborhood Association have both received the proposal to correct the violation and are in support. The owner is here, and general contractor are here and available to answer your questions.
Right. Thank you, Tyler. Commissioners, any questions for Tyler before we hear from the property owner? Seeing none, let's hear from the property owner. Is it Andy Zhang and your team?
I'm the owner of the property, and I'm happy to apply. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Did you have questions from the property owner? He's saying, I believe he's saying he's okay with the recommendation.
Just comments and happy to hear that you agree with everything and hope that you follow, staff's recommendations. Because it's just unreal when we see cases like this that you undermine the staff's recommendations and have to go through this process. I don't understand it myself, but I'm glad to hear that you are going to take the proper steps to do things correctly.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Ponce. Any other comments, commissioners? Okay. Very good. I think that we don't have any public comment. We don't have anyone signed up to speak on this item, so we can skip that. And I'd like to call for any final points of discussion. I don't think there are any. Commissioners, with that, I'd like to request a motion to adopt the staff recommendations to the project. So moved, Commissioner Rubin. Seconded by Commissioner Ponce, and I am a yes as well. And the motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And with that, there is no further business on our agenda today. I'd like to request a motion to adjourn. So moved, Commissioner Ponce. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.